Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse, Frugally. Have you ever wanted to try needle felting, but you thought it was going to be too difficult? Well, I'm here to tell you that it is not. We are going to make a bird nest, and then we are going to make a bird. For the nest, you will need a 3-inch styrofoam ball. That gives you a normal nest. If you want a hummingbird nest, a 2-inch ball will work. And you are going to need some wool roving. Roving is just wool that has been carded or combed into a long strip. Any kind of wool will do. I happen to be using llama, but you could certainly use sheep's wool or any other kind that you have on hand. Now, it's a little tricky to wrap that around the styrofoam ball. Basically, you are going to need to use some long pins, if you have some, especially with the little pearl or something on the end, to hold this in place. Now, you cannot use a regular old needle to do needle felting. See, this is doing nothing. You do need a special kind of needle. A felting needle has barbs on it. I picked up this kit from Amazon for about $10, and it has everything that you're going to need. You get the handle, which holds 3 needles at a time, and then you get 3 different size needles. The smaller the number, the thicker the needle, the less chance you have of breaking your needle. So this is 36, 38, and 40 gauge. So you want to start with the 36 gauge and put the 3 of them in your tool. If your tool is like mine, you just unscrew the little handle piece, you slide the 3 needles into the holes, and then you screw that handle back on. These will cover more workspace for you. So if you're using something large like this nest, this particular one works well because therefore you have 3 needles, working at any given time. But the other handle is just a simple 1 needle. You pull out the little piece, you put 1 needle in, you put the little piece back in, and that holds 1. And the handle, the wood handle, makes it a lot easier on your hand to do this. Now, there's quite a bit of difference here. When you have the barbed needles, you will notice right away that that is causing the fibers to stick together. And you don't have to go down into the styrofoam ball. You literally just have to go over and over and over and over and over. Now I'm speeding this up, obviously, so that you can get those fibers to meld together. The more you do this, the more smooth you are going to find your felt to become. Now, I'm going to tell you it's going to take you a good 20 plus 30 minutes maybe to get a decent nest. So you may not want to do this all at one moment, but once you do, you are going to then want to begin to shape it. Now, be careful because you can get hurt. This came with 2 finger protectors. Put one on your thumb and one on your pointer finger so that you do not stab yourself, especially when you start to work with something small, as you will see later on. Just going to continue to do this over and over and over, go this way and that way and the other way until you are sort of getting your fibers to work together. Hear my cat crying for my husband. Once you have that basic shape, you can take it off of the styrofoam ball, and that way you can begin to work on the inside of the nest. Again, be very careful of your fingers. Now, this is completely up to you how much you want your nest to be felted, as in looking like a piece of felt at the store. I love my things rustic. I love my things more natural in shape, so I'm not going to go crazy felting this. I want this to look a little bit uneven, and I want this to to have the shape of a nest, but not certainly to be a perfect piece of felt. And I'm even going to take some gray sheep's fiber there that's a little bit curlier, and I'm just going to add a little bit here and there. See right here just how simple it is to add another color into your design. And so this is really a wonderful way to get something to look a little bit more 2-toned or 3-toned, as you will see on the bird later on. Here you could add a little bit more inside. I want this to be a little more fluffy and soft inside. Bunny alpaca fur would be great here. I used to have Angora bunnies and pluck them because I am a spinner. I spin wool. I have never felted before. This is actually my first time. And you can build this up as much as you want, depending on the size and how much you want to get your bottom lifted up so that your bird can sit the way that you want your bird to sit. So again, I've only been at this for, 5 minutes. This is not anything, terribly long. Now I also have a white piece here, and I'm just going to attempt, this is where you want your finger protector. Say it, do as I say, not as I do. You could put another piece under it, but you don't want to felt to it. So I had a piece of blue there, and I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't use that. What you want, if you have any on hand, and I did not, is a piece of foam. When I say foam, I mean like mattress foam, a chair foam, like a square of foam. And I am definitely going to have to look around and see if I can find some of that, because you can use that to sort of pounce into and help shape things. You can also hold the ball, if it's going to be small like this, with one of the felting needles while you're working with the other, because those finger protector thingies can be a little cumbersome. Now, the egg is by far the most difficult thing here because of that. But you can also put it down on the desk or table surface, and you can, pounce little by little by little. I wasn't sure how much I could do that without breaking the tip of the needle off, but actually it was pretty easy. Now, again, I would want this particular thing to be much more felted than the bird or the nest, because I think the egg should look a lot smoother. And for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to go crazy with that, but later on I might continue to felt this egg until I get it to be a bit more realistic looking. I'm just adding a little bit of moss and a feather just to make this look a little bit more real. And before we move forward, today's collaboration is being hosted by Dawn at Shabby Meets Bling and The Secret Craft Room. Make sure you check out their channels and the playlist in the description box. And then I'm going to move on to the bird. Now, with your bird, you probably should start with something a little more smooth. This white wool that I have is not really carded very well, and is more like kind of off the sheep here. So this one is a little bit more tricky to work with. It takes a little bit more time to shape. But basically, if you are going to make a bird, I find it easier to do all one piece, but you could certainly try to put the head separate from the body and then attach the two. But the idea here is that you are just simply going to, again, keep going over and over and over and over until your head resembles a little bit more of a round shape, and then work on the body. And then you can keep going around and around and around the neck portion, because the more you felt, the smaller the item becomes. So the more you do the neck, the more you're going to see the definition between the head and the body. And so again, put it down on a table. If you have that piece of foam, just keep doing that. Keep fluffing it. And now the bird probably, so if the nest took me 15 minutes, the bird probably took me a half an hour. Because once I got the basic shape of that, I want this to be a bluebird, which is why I wasn't so terribly worried about what the white looked like. So I'm going to start by taking my roving, and I'm going to cut 2 wings first. And then once I get the 2 wings, I'm going to set those aside, and I will attach those later. But then I am just going to take some of the blue roving, and I am going to spread it out a little bit, make it real kind of thin, and it's easier to work with that way. And it definitely felts into the bird easier if you have less wool to felt into. So just kind of spread out what you need, wrap it around, and begin to felt. So that you can cover the head and the body if you want to have a colored bird. Now, I do recommend, this would be adorable if you did it in brown and then took some orangey color for the belly or the top of the head, make it look like a robin or, whatever kind of bird you want it to be. But I happen to have blue, not the exact color blue for a bluebird, but good enough. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the same thing, covering over the head and the body until I get the blue to attach itself into the white. And then I am just going to continue to go back and forth here. And again, as I said, this is not rocket science. You literally are going to shape this as you go and continue to work at it. Now, holding the head and kind of going down into the body like this really helps you to get that covered. And then I'm going to take another piece and go on. And I'm going to make sure I leave a nice long piece at the end so that I will be able to have some kind of a tail at the end. So keep that in mind as you get toward the bottom. You could always add one at the end, but if you have a little extra going on like I do right here, just keep it and you can shape it and cut it and, work it out as you go so that you have something for a tail. Little by little, you are going to see that this is beginning to resemble a bird. Now I am pulling a little bit of the white out to hold in my hand and to make the shape of a beak. We will work on the beak in a few minutes, but my recommendation is perhaps before putting the blue on to put a little bit of brown over the beak and then cover it with the blue. I wish I had thought of that beforehand, but the way that I worked it out it came out all right. So see how I'm holding the tail now and I'm kind of going back into the bird? That's going to help press down some of the other sections and make that body look a little bit more rounded and give that more of the shape of the bird. And then I just grabbed a piece of the orangey rust color and I just folded it into like a little teardrop shape, put that on the belly, and again, just added that in. It only took 30 seconds to add that. And then I took one of the wings and I am just adding the wing on where I want that wing to be, and only needle felt the area that I want it to sit into the body. I'm going to leave some of that wing, of course, loose, and then later on I'll shape these wings a little better with the scissors to make sure they're not too big. But it is that easy. You just take the pieces that you want, you put them where you want them, and then you only felt them in the area that you want them to be attached. And so this literally takes seconds to attach the wings to the body. And then, once I realize they're a little too big, I go ahead and clip those a little bit and get those a little better shaped. And then eventually, as I move on, I am going to, build that body up just a little bit more and then lay those wings the way that I want them, and, just keep working that until I like the shape of that. And then here is where I decided to take a little bit of brown, and I used the glue gun just to help me add that initially, just to kind of hold that beak steady. It was a little hard to try to felt it. If I had a single needle going, I might have been able to just single felt that brown on. But again, I think it would have been smarter to do the whole beak in brown prior to adding the rest of the blue. But just, you'll have to work that out and get that the way that you want it. And then, of course, I had too much brown going on, so closer to the body, I took another piece of blue and added that to make it so that the beak wasn't too big. But before I do that, I do want to lay it in the nest and see if the size is good. And also I grabbed 2 little brown seed beads and I just glued them on for eyes. But of course you could sew them on as well. And then added that little bit of blue to the beak to cover up some of the brown and make it look a little bit more natural and realistic looking. And also there was a little bit of white on the head there, and I wanted to make sure that I had covered some of that and made that bird's head look a little bit more blue. So again, you are seeing how simple this really is. This is not that difficult. It takes a little bit of patience, obviously, and you just want to take your time and use your imagination. And I'm sure there must be 1,000 videos or things that you could watch and learn. I'm sure on Pinterest or on YouTube. So just go ahead and have fun. Really, just play with it and have fun and make it, just keep working it until you get the item looking the way that you want it to look, keeping in mind that the more you use the needle felting, the more these colors are going to meld together and blend. And this is, of course, where I'm going to shape the tail and, fix that. I don't want to go too crazy with the tail. I kind of like it a little bit natural and fluffy. And so, you know, this is a very loosely felted item. This is not real crazy felted, like looking like a, you know, strictly like a piece of felt. And I know that you can certainly get there if you want to by just continuing to use your needle and poke that in. Now, obviously, you would also want to change the size of your needle to go from the 36 to the 38 to the 40, and I will probably do that on the egg as I get that more and more. And that is all that I did to get this beautiful bird in the nest with the egg. And this is how my very first felted item came out. So I know if I can do it, you can certainly do it. And you will be, I think, pleasantly surprised at how fun and how easy and how creative it is and how many options you have to get the look that you want. You could make so many wonderful gift items, ornaments, just so many things. You could sell these if you have a way to sell these. And look at these on Etsy, $165. So certainly a worthwhile attempt for making money if you can get a really good looking one. So I hope that you have enjoyed this simple step-by-step tutorial on making this nest and bird and bird egg. Now, if you are interested in getting some colored rovings from me, I put together 3 packages only. So for the first 3 people that contact farmhousefrugally@gmail.com, I will charge $20 for this on either Venmo or the Cash App. But go ahead and contact my farmhousefrugally@gmail.com and we'll work that out. Make sure you leave a comment and check out the other creators in the description box. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for stopping by. Take care.